Today I'm with the champion, Omar Karaki. Thank you for joining me today, Omar.
Thank you for coming, Darren.
What a fight you had in FTC 6, and now you have a great fight going into FTC 8. So let's start your interview without ado with your last FTC against Mattson Leon. It was a trilogy. It was, I think, the best fight of the year for FTC 2024. What do you think after everything that happened on this fight?
Might have been the best fight for FTC, but it was definitely the worst fight for me. The Wolf didn't show up that night, and when the Wolf doesn't show up and Omar does, they're two separate people. And, you know, Omar is linked with emotions. The Wolf just comes to conquer. I fought filled with emotions because of what was happening back in Lebanon, because of everything. I wanted to get this win for everyone back home to smile. And I lost the fight before going in because I was never in the fight as the Wolf. Mm-hmm. And in the ring, it needs to be the Wolf because you can't be the same person in and out of the ring. It wasn't my best performance. Can't take away anything from Mattson. He's a warrior. I shared the ring with him 3 times, and I know just what he brings to the table. But I know myself too, and you know that wasn't me. So I'm just moving forward from here, focus on what's next. What's next is coming up, and the comeback is here.
You were saying with everything going on in Lebanon, I remember you coming in with the flag at the end, doing your amazing speech, by the way, in front of all the crowd. So how did you feel that moment, giving that message to the crowd?
Broken. I felt broken. I felt like I let down my friends back home. I let down a lot of people. I let down the flag. But I made my peace with it. And, you know, one thing I came to realize is I'm doing this for me, man. You know, I'm not doing this for anyone else. If I'm doing this for anyone else, there's 1,000,001 ways to be successful. I chose the hardest path. I chose to fight for everything because I want to do this. I want to leave a legacy. So I really just came to peace with myself, and I'm looking for what's to come next.
You were talking, you made peace with this fight now. And would you say as a fighter in general, losing is a motivation for you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You see, I really believe in this quote is that every setback is an opportunity for a major comeback. And this next fight is going to be exactly that. And who doesn't love a good comeback story? You know, growing up, I always loved the comeback story. I love that I had to face adversity. Bring it, bring the heat, bring everything. Put all the cards against me, bet against me. I love being the underdog more than I like being the favorite. It allows me to rise to the best form of myself. So really, I believe that, look, I'm not going to lie, after the fight, it did hurt for a while and I was a bit lost for a while, but I came to realize that more good came out from it than bad. You know, if I won that fight, I wouldn't have seen all the growth that I have ever since, and I wouldn't have realized all the mistakes I've done leading up to that fight, in training, in the preparation, and in the fight. But now I see it all, and I'm a better version of myself, and I cannot wait to show it to everyone, every fan in FTC.
Yeah. And what would you say in general to people who don't see it as you see, like losing is a motivation, it's not a setback, it's a comeback, you know? Some people have a bit, maybe more trouble with that. What would you say to them?
They don't know what's... Like, there are 2 people that see it that way. Either people who lost and can't seem to get up, or people who never lost. If you never lost, there's that untapped potential. There's that untapped next level that you haven't reached. When you lose, you'll get there because you learn from it, and there's a pressure that comes off of you. Now, in my career, I started off with a few losses. Losing isn't something new to me. But again, this is amateur, and this is why I'm taking as many fights as I do. I'm trying to own my craft. I'm trying to become the best version of myself. So when I go pro, I know exactly who I am. And I'm close to that perfect mold. And that's what I want to bring to that table.
Nice. And would you say that applies in your everyday life too, not just as a fighter?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The road to success is paved with disappointment and pain. It's a simple quote. I've lived by it my whole life. I've seen ups and downs in and out of the ring. I've seen it in the business life. I've seen it in relationships, in friendships. I've seen it through everything. Adversity gives room for growth. It's that simple. You're either going to get beaten down and you're going to stay down, or you're going to say, fuck it, and you're going to get back up. You're going to rise up. You're going to become stronger. So yeah, I believe it even more so out of the ring than in the ring.
Okay, so I think everyone back home can actually take a piece even though they're not fighting like you.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Before closing into your next fight, Mattson is going to be fighting on the same card as you again, against Meana, sorry.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think of that super fight?
I think it's an amazing fight. I'm excited for that one. I am super excited for that. I think it's going to be a banger. You know, Mahena is a monster of a Muay Thai specialist.
100%.
He has that traditional touch, but he has his own twist to it. He has, I wouldn't call it traditional Muay Thai anymore. It's Mahena Muay Thai now. You know, it's all shifted, it's all changed. And Mattson, you know what Mattson's bringing to the table, but it's the question of, can you stop it? Everyone knows what Mattson's going to do. He's going to come forward, bite down on that mouthpiece, throw the volume, throw those hands, use that movement, occasionally throw the kicks, but that's not the most dangerous thing Mattson does. It's his punches, it's his volume, it's his cardio, it's his bombs. But can Mahena keep him away? I think he does. I think it'll be a super close fight. The only way I think Mattson wins is if he catches him and stumbles him early. And that'll set the tone for the rest of the fight. But if Mahena starts strong, I think it's going to be hard for Mattson to turn the tide.
Okay, so you better think it's either Mattson early finish or Mahena late.
Yeah, Mattson, he can get the decision win, but he has to hurt him early.
Okay.
Kind of like what he did to me.
Mattson
hurt me right off the bell. You know, I hate you, Mattson, for that. But if he does that and hurts him early, then he can win the fight.
Okay. Many opportunities to different scenarios, but it's going to be a banger fight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
Now that the trilogy is over, we're coming to your next fight, defending your belt against Max Koroviakovsky.
I can't even say his name.
Koroviakovskyi. I think I pronounced it right. So going into this FTC 8 fight, what are your first thoughts so far?
I've seen his style. He's a long, lengthy guy. You know, I think his best attribute is that he's tall, but that's not enough to beat me. He has a style that's a bit similar to mine, but less dynamic in terms of where he puts his hands, in terms of his strikes, in terms of trying to counter. He has a pretty similar style to me, but I'm much more dynamic and much more fluid with it. So I know what to exploit too, because I'm a perfectionist and I'm always trying to better my craft. I know the holes in my game, and now I know the holes in his. So I think he's a great fighter, and I don't think his cardio can keep up with what I'm going to bring to the table. I don't see a power significance that threatens me. The boxing doesn't threaten me much. So really it's just about how I'm going to deal with that distance.
Okay. I would say he reminds me a bit of Brendan Pakovich with his height.
He does. So, probably even taller, I believe.
I think even taller. So how do you deal with taller opponents in general?
You move more. You either make them chase or you have to push the pace. And you can't come forward straight. You have to take different angles. I don't want to reveal too much, but you'll see it in the next FTC when I finish him. Another thing is the mentality. You know, he said he's coming for the belt. All right, good. Come for the belt. But that's his mistake. I'm coming for his head. And that's why I believe I'm going to win. You want to come for the belt? That's its own task. You're looking at an objective. I'm focused at the task at hand, which isn't defending the belt. It's stopping you. And that's why I'm going to win.
Damn, that was cold. So your two last ones on FTC, they were finishes in the last rounds. With Yumba, you finished in the third round, I believe. With Brandon, it was the fourth round. So now with Max, is it going to be the same trend where you're going to finish it in the later rounds?
Look, I definitely don't think I'll finish early because I study. You know, I study, I calculate, I find the opening, and it's going to take a round or two to find the adjustment. But I'm a person that adapts to everything. You know, I'm going to adapt to your style. I'm going to find the holes. I'm going to exploit it, and then I'm going to finish you. You know, that's just the way I do it. I break it down. And so I believe later finish more than an earlier finish, but rest assured the finish will come.
The wolf always eats in the last round.
The wolf always eats. Before I used to believe in poetry and motion, but this time, man, forget the poetry. I'm gonna paint a picture with his blood. This one's gonna be a rough fight, and I can't wait for it.
The last question we always ask you is, what would you say to Max if you could say something to him before the fight? What would you tell him?
Max, do your thing, man. I want you to be training as hard as you possibly can. The reason I accepted the fight with you is because right now you're the toughest opponent I could fight. So bring your A game because I want to fight the best. And right now that's you. Come for the belt. I'm coming for your head.
Final question. This time, what's next for you, Omar? You're going to defend your belt. What's next for you? Do we expect you to go up a class, down a class? What's going on with you?
unfortunately, Darren, this might be my last K1 fight. And I am focusing on MMA more. I'm fighting again on May 31st, and I really want to dive into mixed martial arts. I love to fight at FTC because they always bring the toughest opponents, but also it's a different sport. So I might be relinquishing the belt on my terms, and then moving on to MMA from there. This might be the last one.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's always a pleasure to see you in the ring, Omar, and we'll always have open arms for you if you come back.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, Omar, for your time today. Good. I think that was